Apple recently became the first company in the world to reach a market value of $3 trillion, buoyed by hopes over its expansion into new markets, coupled with expectations of a more moderate approach to interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. The iPhone maker's advance was among the most eye-catching in a month marked by investor interest in the potential of artificial intelligence, with share buyers also particularly favoring companies with strong balance sheets and cash flows. On the last episode of the podcast, we did talk about the Apple Vision Pro, which is set to launch here in just the next couple of months. Now, if you haven't seen that episode, the Vision Pro is Apple's official entrance into the market for augmented and virtual reality headsets. So considering that we talked about the Vision Pro in the last episode, I think that it makes sense that we kind of pick up right here where we left off. So here we have this story from Reuters. Apple makes history as first $3 trillion company amid tech stock surge. Oh, and I almost forgot. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. You are tuned into another episode of the Black Man Into the Wild podcast. You know I'm blessed to be here with you all today, and as always, I'm blessed to have you here with me as well. The Black Man Into the Wild podcast was born in the Pacific Northwest and covers topics centered around the most disruptive technological advancements that are going to play a role in reshaping our society for the next decades. Today, we're going to be talking about Apple's spaceships and flying cars. Fasten those seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into these stories. Apple's most recent quarterly report in May, showing its revenue and profits beat analysts' expectations, and its track record of stock buybacks reinforced its reputation as a safe investment during global economic uncertainty. In a similar vein, electric car maker Tesla witnessed a 28% jump in its market cap in June. Tesla's surge was fueled by deals struck with rivals Ford and General Motors to gain access to Tesla's supercharging network, which could potentially establish Tesla's chargers as the industry standard. I think it's safe to say they already are. Elsewhere, Nvidia joined the $1 trillion valuation club last month as its market cap climbed nearly 12%, with investors betting on its potential to become a major beneficiary of a boom in AI. Apple and Microsoft led the list of the top 20 global companies by market cap at the end of June. By contrast, Alphabet's market cap dropped by 2.3% last month to $1.5 trillion on rising competitive pressure from Microsoft's Bing, which has grown in prominence after the integration of the artificial intelligence behind ChatGPT. Now, we have this story from Business Insider. The value of Elon Musk's SpaceX may rise with new $750 million fundraising effort, reports say. Elon Musk's SpaceX is reportedly looking to fundraise through a new sale of employee shares. The sale could value SpaceX at $150 billion, according to Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal. SpaceX is considering a new fundraising effort through a sale of employee stock shares, which could value the company at about $150 billion. The round of shares would reportedly put Elon Musk's space exploration company at about $80 to $81 per share. SpaceX became the most valuable startup in the United States after its last two rounds of fundraising last May and December, which valued the company at $125 and $140 billion, respectively. The company has raised funds privately and sold shares to employees several times throughout its history, both to raise money and as a form of compensation. The company, which was founded in 2002, has grown in value in recent years as it ramped up the number of satellites and rockets it launches into space. The company has also partnered with NASA and other companies and developed Starlink, a satellite internet service that now operates the world's largest commercial constellation of satellites. Investors say the profit potential of Starlink, which is designed to improve internet access in rural areas, is the biggest driver of the company's value. SpaceX was in the news earlier this year when its massive Starship rocket exploded shortly after it launched. Musk said weeks later that it had actually gone slightly better than he expected. And I want to finish off here. We have a story that kind of just slipped through the latest news cycle. Interestingly enough, SpaceX has some involvement here too. And this is coming from Hypebeast. A $300,000 electric flying car has received approval for testing for the first time in history. The SpaceX-backed startup Alef Aeronautics is the first company in history to be approved to test an electric flying car that is set to cost about $300,000 US. In a press release, the fully electric flying car from the Californian automaker has received an official special airworthiness certification from the FAA for the Model A. This approval marks the first of its kind for a flight-capable car. While the car has been approved for a fly test, the ever-evolving FAA restrictions has limited the location and purpose for which the car is permitted to fly. The company plans to produce the first flying car that has both street driving and vertical takeoff capabilities so that it will be designed to fit within existing urban infrastructure for both driving and parking. The flying vehicle is expected to be able to take off vertically and horizontally, and could carry up to 2 people with a road range of 200 miles and a flying range of 110 miles. Many car enthusiasts are already in line to become one of the first people to own the flying car. It says here so far, 440 people have paid a deposit. Those who pay $150 can join the general queue, while those who pay $1,500 will get priority access when deliveries begin. Last year, CEO Jim Duchovny told news outlets that people can expect these flying cars to hit the sky by 2025. Now, some of you listening or watching may have been tapped into the podcast about a year ago when I first talked about the future of flying cars. I did an episode titled Exploring eVTOLs, Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing Vehicles. I'll put a link to that video above so you can check it out if you haven't seen it. But for now, let me know in the comments if you plan to place your pre-order on the Model A, or maybe you already have, and I'll just have to catch you in the skies. But that's it for today. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been another episode of the Black Man Into the Wild podcast. Have a great day.